Some of you guys are probably, some of you are probably wondering why we're meeting on Zoom today. And the reason why is because we are allotted one meeting at the Abernethy Grange per month. If we go beyond that, then we have to pay for it. So the thought is that, okay, since we have paid for the picnic spot on the 24th, there's no reason why we can't have a business Zoom meeting on the 10th. So during the months that we have an event, we don't have a business portion. So what we can do is we can still have a business portion with Tech Talks, Tube of the Month, Radio of the Month, etc. And then also have an event later on. So I think this might be a better way of keeping everyone up to date and information, flowing back and forth, because during those months, there's basically no business communication at all. So next up, can we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay.
Yes. All right. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
All right. Now I noticed that we only have 15 people, and that's a little lower than normal. So I hope people aren't at the Grange, because unfortunately the website shows us at the Grange today for the picnic. So I'm hoping, no one caught that, and I apologize for that. So I emailed Mark Moore and he'll change it, but it's kind of too late if you're at the Grange right now, wondering where everyone else is.
Well, Pat, you covered it in email. Okay.
True. I was just wondering, and it's also in the call letter, today's call letter, it definitely has all that information, but just like if someone looked at the website and then didn't bother reading any emails or the call letter and ended up there today. So hopefully we caught everyone.
I'm not sure all of us got their call letters. I didn't get mine.
Did you get the electronic one?
Yes, I got the electronic one.
That's
the only way I knew that we were going to meet by Zoom today.
Oh, no.
If I didn't have the paper call letter, I wouldn't have known.
Oh, wow.
Anybody else have the same situation?
You don't watch the Google groups? And I try to send them to you directly too. So you're not getting my emails?
I haven't got it in the mail yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be there today. That's all. I sometimes get it a day late.
Everybody, just to clarify, we did the folding one day later than normal, and this is the consequence that sometimes the post office doesn't get it to everybody before the meeting when we do it a day late.
Is there any way we could bump that up for the mail delivery? I know that there was an issue with making sure that the people with the paper copy get it the same time as electronic copy, but I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be more to the benefit of people having the information, having the call letter definitely delivered before the meeting. I mean, maybe by several days.
Pat, when we do the folding on the Monday of the week before, it gets out in plenty of time. This was the 4th of July weekend. We did the folding on Tuesday. So
okay, that explains it.
That's a consequence.
Okay.
Yeah, because we only had about, if we had the folding party on Monday, we'd only have 3 guys there, and that's not enough to do the folding party.
Okay, so if we had done it on Monday, then we would have got the call letter on Friday, for sure?
Typically, yes. Typically, yes.
Okay. I don't know, maybe we want to bump that up a day and have it mailed on Monday night, or,
When we do the folding on Monday night, it gets mailed on Monday night.
oh, okay, dang.
And we mail it from the airport post office. That's about as fast as any post office can cover the Portland metro area. And normally it works.
Okay. All right, never mind. I was just wondering.
Unfortunately, having the call letter arrive on Friday doesn't help people like Alan Shattuck, who's coming up from Roseburg, and his only correspondence from the club is the call letter. I saw Pat's email and called him earlier this week to advise him not to come because it was a Zoom meeting. But Alan would have been in a bad way if he was waiting for the call letter.
Oh, my.
Is it worth a look to maybe research about having the folding party maybe a day early? Or maybe a couple days early? I don't know. I was just wondering.
Since this was the exception, I'm inclined to say, no, it's not worth it, but you guys could think otherwise. We don't have the 4th of July every week.
I wish we did.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I'll get a couple people, if anyone's interested, to talk about it. Maybe we could kind of run some ideas through it.
Well, Pat, excuse me, I think Sunday evening, would that work out okay with other people?
I don't know, Robbie, maybe we could take it offline and just, we'll spam just the folding company people and then let you guys decide.
Okay, we can do that. That's no problem. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. If there's no other discussion on that, we can go to health and welfare. I got a report from Sid Saw that his gallbladder operation was a success, but he ended up with some blockage and that he may have to go in for another surgery to correct that. And haven't heard word since his last email.
When was that email, Pat?
I sent it to him not too many days ago. Basically, I told him that I was going to post the information at this club meeting, and then I hadn't heard back from him. So I don't know when his surgery is or if he's already had it. So I'm waiting for him to respond back.
Yeah. Yeah, he texted me that he was admitted to the VA, I think about Wednesday,
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
but I don't know when the surgery will happen.
Probably within a day or two. I can't imagine him sticking him in a hospital and letting him wait around.
Yeah.
Is there any other health and welfare?
Yeah, Pat,
Has anybody talked to Mark Moore since the fire out at the Historical Society?
I talked to him today and he says he's swamped. He's working 7 days a week. They've had a fire down there and he's really busy. So that's all I've heard. Any other health and welfare?
yeah, Pat, you know, Bob Duell, the member of our club,
Yes.
lives in Ashland. He had that back surgery, so he's doing pretty good so far. He's still healing up though. No. He couldn't make it to our last show we had because of his surgery, but he's going to try to make it in October, with our next show.
Okay, good. Okay, next up is leads and needs. I know that Tom Hoskins is trying to sell a couple consoles from Rick Ryan's estate. One's a AK Keel table and he's gonna offer it for $50 and see if anyone will bite at that. And then there's another high tube count GE. Don't know the model number, but I sent pictures out, so I doubt if that will sell for much, just because the way consoles are going.
Just for information, Pat, does the keel table have a radio inside of it, or is it missing the radio?
No, it's complete from what I know. I don't know.
Okay, it's an Atwater kit 55 that's got a pair of 45s in the output.
Oh,
That's what's supposed to be in it.
okay. I can have Tom look and see if it's got the 45s in it. Okay, any other leads and needs? Okay, we have a donation in Gladstone. It's from a former member and they want to donate a console, but it's big and heavy. It would take 2 people. So if anyone's interested in picking it up for the club, let me know. And then we also have an offer from an estate up in Seattle area. It's a 100% donation as well. So if anyone's interested in helping out and going up there and picking up some stuff, let me know. So if there's no other leads and needs, we'll go to old business, and we're still looking for a volunteer to take place of Lyles here. And I got word from the PSARA is that Linda up there, who's the secretary of the PSARA, is moving down to our area, and that won't be for a bit, but I've offered her, maybe to think about that. So, maybe we might have a replacement, but it's hard to say.
Thank you, Pat.
What?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But with Zoom meetings and all that stuff, she could still be the secretary of PSARA, except when they go live all the time. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we can get her to join our club.
Boy, she's been doing that job for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm not sure why she's moving down to this area, but that's what she said.
Maybe she's trying to get out of the job.
Yeah. So does anyone have any other old business they want to talk about?
Old business.
All right, we'll go to new business then. So please ignore the website. The picnic and radio sale is not today at the Grange. It'll be the 24th. So that'll be in 2 weeks. Now, we haven't had anyone volunteer to run this. Robbie's done a great job, with all the radio sales and things like that. So we don't really have a point person to run the picnic. So it's kind of been running by itself. So as you guys know, we have Arlene's Cuisine coming in, and they are supplying all the meals with all the fixings. So one of the questions to ask is, what mix do you want? It's going to be 100 meals that we paid for, and we get the leftovers of what's not cooked. Basically, we can have hamburgers with all the fixing and hot dogs, but the question remains, what is the ratio? I was suggesting maybe 75 hamburger meals and 25 hot dog meals, but I'm willing to tell her whatever you guys want to do.
Does it make any sense, and would it be any easier for her to have hamburgers only or hot dogs only?
Sure.
What does anybody think about that?
Simpler.
That's a lot simpler than, fixing a hot dog is a lot less hassle than fixing a hamburger.
I think the hamburgers are more nutritional. Just go with hamburgers, Pat.
Well, I was thinking though that a lot of times, we did have hot dogs last time, so they're popular with the kids and stuff. So I was thinking maybe a 25-75 breakdown, 25 hot dogs for everyone and then 75 hamburgers, because you're allowed to have seconds this time, because we have 100 meals we're paying for, and we're not getting any money back if we don't use them. And last time we did this in 2019, we only served about 76 meals. So we can make it all hamburgers, but what about people who may want hot dogs and people want seconds? I would rather have a hamburger and then a hot dog.
I'll go with your idea, Pat. I'll take mine back.
Yep, I'll go. That sounds reasonable, Pat. I'll go with that.
That sounds very reasonable.
So what do you think? How about the breakdown of 75 hamburgers, 25 hot dogs? Or do you want?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good, Pat.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll present that to Arlene today. The other thing is that I sent out an email about people bringing side dishes, because it is a potluck. She is only bringing the main course with all the fixing. So she's bringing, lettuce, tomato, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So far, I've only got one person who I talked to that said that they're willing to bring whatever other people don't bring. So
We've got to form a committee for this one.
well, we should have, but then I asked for people to do. I always ask for people, volunteers, to to help do this and that, and so I got the traditional response. So I sent out a list in an email, and it's also in the call letter for those who got the electronic one, about items we needed, and that came up through one of the Wednesday night discussions. So far, no one's responded back bringing anything. So what we have the option of doing is do it like we did in 2019, where it says if your last name is A through H, you bring a salad, I through Q bring a dessert, and R through Z bring chips, beans, macaroni, or potato dip. So we could do something like that again, since no one's responded.
Do what works in the past.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
hey, Pat, is Arlene providing soft drinks and water?
No, we talked to her and we opted not to, because she would do it. She would bring one soft drink per meal at $1 per person. So it'd be an extra $100 for 100 cans of pop or water. So I thought we could do better than that.
Yes.
So we opted not to spend that money. Okay, then be prepared for bringing whatever you want. So obviously you're not committed just because of your last name, which you had no control over, unless you're a female. We'll just go ahead and send out an email saying bring this and this as a suggestion, but you're more than free to bring whatever you feel like.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
But we're gonna need some coolers for the drinks to hold the ice and the drinks. Do you have cooler?
Okay, from the one response I did get of bringing something, maybe I'll suggest that they bring a cooler with ice and drinks, or some drinks. I can't imagine him having to pay for 100 plus beverages. That would be kind of expensive. So let me see if I can get some people to join in with bringing some coolers and with ice. Right. If there's no other concerns about the picnic, yes. I got the information here from Robbie. It sounds like we may need to bring tables, because it doesn't sound like the Grange has enough tables for everyone when they show up. So you may need to bring your own table.
Or chair?
No, there's plenty of chairs. Inside there's plenty of chairs. As I recall, there's only 3, 6, 9, 12. There's only 12 tables in the Grange. A lot of the ones that used to have those big, heavy, ugly things, they're all gone.
Oh.
So they may only have a dozen tables, and I don't know how many of you guys are planning to show up to this as vendors and need a table.
It's just tailgate, right?
Right, but you usually put your stuff on the table.
And we don't have those small card tables anymore.
I think there's only 4 of those left at the Grange. The little black ones.
Well, that ought to be a good start.
That'll get the picnic tables out there.
Okay, well, just a,
We'll just have to share. We'll just have to share them, I guess.
okay, just, just FYI, you may need to bring your own table to ensure you have a table,
Yeah.
especially if
of
you
course.
come late.
She said, my mom's got her new car. She's too busy.
Right, and then the next thing up is on August 7th, we have the car show, Veterans of the Road, where Mike McCrow and I are gonna go up there and set up a booth or a table for our club. And Mike, do you want to chime in on that?
I'll try. I don't know how, am I coming through okay? I'm getting messages. I've got low bandwidth for some reason on
No.
my computer.
Oh, you
No,
sound-
Mike, you're fine. You're fine.
Am I fine? Okay. Anyway, yeah, that is going to be on the 7th. It's Veterans of the Road. It's put on by Fletcher Anderson. It's on his property up in Chehalis. And this year, I think they're going to be having, what is it? Some like Kaisers and one other type of car up there is going to be the theme this year. And then he has invited us to come up and have a table with all of our literature and all that kind of stuff, and handouts, and also applications for memberships and all of that business. And then he sent me some money for a radio, and I restored an airline. I've got it right here, to give away as a raffle or a prize up there at the car show. And that's, hold on, I got it right here. And this one here, it's a octal style All-American 5 plastic radio. From it's I believe it's 1946, right in there, and a nice airline radio. It's got mechanical push buttons on it, and they seem to work pretty good. And I went through and restored it. The radio plays real nice, and it's kind of a nice looking ivory set. So that's the giveaway up there at the car show, and it should be a lot of fun, that type of thing. So anybody that's interested in going and attending that is welcome to come up there.
Pat, this event is not on the website.
Oh, no. Okay, apologize for that. I've sent Mark more message about all the updates.
Anyway, that's August 7th. I've got his address and everything, so people can, I can put that on the website. And I believe the information on that should have been in this last call letter. I can't remember, and I don't have it in front of me. I don't have a paper copy. I just have electronic. But his address is up in Chehalis, and he's got like 150 acres, and he's got a real nice place for us or people to come up and have this type of event. And I'll be sure and put his address and the time. I think it starts at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be on August the 7th for that event. And both events are going to be at his place. The other one is August 21st is going to be our combined radio sale with PSARA.
That's fantastic, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike, for setting all this up. So, okay, that took care of the August 7th and the August 21st swap meet. Is there any questions on that? Okay, the last new business item I have is I was contacted by the Tesla City performances, and they're the ones that do the old radio shows, the live performance. They have dancing and singing and skits. They've been out of business for over a year, and so they're starting back up. And the next performance is September 18th. What we normally do as a club is we get free admission for people who want to attend and see the show. And all they have to do is be part of the NWVRS booth, where we have radios on display and we have literature to hand out. So if anyone's interested in attending one of their shows, please let us know, and then we can set you up and have all the information and stuff. And if you feel a little skittish about going there by yourself, I can join you and help you out with all the displays and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun, and we've attended them in the past, but like I say, since COVID, they haven't been able to have any of their performance. So the next one is September 18th, if anyone is interested. Okay, next up is monthly features. So Franklin, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. So monthly features are R. So it should be a lot of RCA radios, I believe. But anybody ready to start? Show the monthly feature of an R?
Name starts with an R, or is there an R in the name somewhere?
Yeah. You can do that. We're being liberal here.
We're being liberal. I have one to show. Let me see how my camera looks. This is a Browning Drake. It's got an R in the first name and an R in the second name. It's used 01As. This is the Browning Drake is a really big name back in like mid-20 radios. There was a bunch of different types and versions of Browning Drake radios. This one's got 5 tubes. I think they're 01As, and I'm working on getting it to play. Here's the front of it. It's 2 dials. It's a regenerative, and when you see these on eBay, for some reason or other, they cost in excess of $1,000 to $1,500. I don't know why they bring so much money, but that's another topic. That's what I'm working on, and like I say, there's an R in both halves of the name. Any questions?
What about what year is that one, Lyles?
Mike, that's a good question. There's no date codes or anything on it because this looks like it's kind of like a homemade thing. I'm going to say mid-20s, maybe late 20s.
Okay.
24, 25, 26, something in that era. I don't know if anybody's got a couple of these or not, but I want to get this working, and I'd like to give it to someone that can do more with it.
Nice, very nice.
I think Dick and Dan Howard have some of those, I think.
Oh, okay.
So Lyles, do you know where that was made at, those radios?
Do you want to say that again?
Do you know where the radios were manufactured?
They were Browning Drake. The 2 guys were associated with the National Radio Company. And National is a huge manufacturer of communication receivers and shortwave radios, things like that over the years. Probably somewhere back east is what I'm thinking, wherever National is. But then back in those days, there was more of the engineering and manufacturing done back east than it was out west. Remember, I'm thinking this is 26, 27, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay, anybody else want to show their R radios?
I have one. How about a Roberts radio? I think this is British made. It's a transistor radio.
Nice.
They make a lot of them. They often look like car radios, but it's really just a portable transistor radio. Got pretty good sound. This
That's
one
cool.
has 3 bands, AM, FM, and some kind of a quasi shortwave band, which I've never gotten much on, but the AM and FM work pretty well. Nothing fancy. There's lots of these run around on eBay. This one just took a rebuild of the power supply and the battery inside, brought it back to life. So Roberts.
Can you see it again, Jerry?
That's the car radio look to it. Otherwise, it's got a handle, and I guess you're supposed to carry it like this.
Very cool. Thank you, Jerry.
Nice, Jerry.
Jerry, did that radio have 3 bands on it?
3 bands, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Jerry,
Says-
it looks like a Blaupunkt, you know, where you slide it into a car dash. Is that possibly it got connections in the back for power and speaker output?
No, it has none of those. That's why I say it sort of looks like it should be a car radio, but this one certainly isn't, and a lot of them are not. And you get inside, and even though it's as big as it is, the actual radio inside is about 1/3 of, I mean, it's mostly empty space inside.
About what year is that radio? Was it manufactured?
I was afraid somebody would ask me that. I have no idea. Sorry.
And that's an English radio, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see the Roberts name also on other radios that look like they were made by somebody else. They often have multi-band little portable ones that look like they were made by Sangean, but they have the Roberts name on them. So I'm not sure. I don't know that much about Roberts. I just happen to have this one, and it starts with an R.
What's the frequency range on that 3rd band, Jerry? You know?
522 to, no, I'm sorry, 153 to 270 kilohertz.
So that's long wave.
Yeah,
So that, yeah, I expected that in Europe. They listen to a lot of long wave broadcasts over there.
right. And that's why I said you don't get anything on that here.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's got a telescoping antenna on it too. I didn't show that, which seems to help FM.
You need to take it to Britain and tune that long wave in.
When you going, I'll let you use it.
I'm not flying anywhere nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Well, is it okay if we go?
Sure, go ahead, Dan.
All right. Can you guys see this little metal tube okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from 1936 when RCA and GE were bringing out the line of metal encased tubes. But there's something odd about this. And that's the fact that the top comes off. And inside you have a cigarette lighter. Yeah. This was a dealer promo item that RCA produced in conjunction with the Albright Lighter Company. And seriously, it looks exactly like a miniature version of their metal tubes. And advertising says that if you bought enough, like boxes of metal tubes, then you would get one of these lighters for free. And I've had this for a very, very long time, and I had no idea that there was a lighter inside. I just thought that it was like a keychain because it has a little loop here on the top. And in the April issue of Radio
Oh.
Age, they did a profile on promo lighters related to radio. And so I came up here to where we have it in our display at Dad's house. And I very carefully kind of tugged on it. And I was shocked when it actually came apart, and there you go. So
Dan, did it come
Very
with a
nice.
base? Did it come with a base that you can plug it into?
no, but it does have pins, and it has the plastic, like a regular key, and you
Yeah.
guys can see where there's a gap. In all respects, it looks exactly like a tube. It's just really, really neat.
Yeah, I've never seen, interesting.
Yeah.
Very neat. Yeah, that's cool.
Would that
gonna help Dad
actually
now,
plug into a tube socket?
Well, it's awfully small. We'd have to probably make a tube socket for it, but might be fun to do.
Yeah.
Dad's got a couple of items to show, and we're gonna swap places, okay? Yeah, that's perfect, yeah. A little bit closer. This is a Radio Marine crystal set. It's the emergency receiver for ship radio. And originally it was mounted in the radio room in a ship. It was originally just as we got it, just the receiver itself. And this is the inside of it. It's just a conventional crystal set, but we got tired of just looking at something sitting on the shelf someplace, and we couldn't display it. So Dan made an appropriate display cabinet for it.
Dan, what's the name of that again?
Radio Marine. Yeah, it was probably from a Liberty ship from World War II. And Radio Marine is the subsidiary for military and commercial shipping. Early, it was a wholly owned subsidiary of RCA.
Radio Made, M-A-D-E?
M-E-R-I-N-E, Marine.
Okay.
Semper Fi. This is a Radeon crystal set. I don't have any information on it. It's just a very typical crystal set, but it's a beautiful little cabinet. I haven't been able to find out any information about it. So if anyone knows anything to help us figure this out, I'd be very grateful. It isn't in crystal clear, either volume 1 or 2. It's not in there. There's a notation back in the printed information, which is totally useless. Radeon, R-A-D-I-O-N. Show me tube real quick.
Thanks, Dan. I got it.
Just a moment. Now, related to the tube part of the program, this is a British R4 valve, 1918. These were used in obviously very early vacuum tube equipment from England for World War I.
Wow.
Made by GEC in England.
Where did you find that, Dick?
Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. W4AMI, who's now a silent P, was a very good friend of mine, and he had this little gem in his supply of good old junk box. He was a ham starting in about 1928, And he came upon this at one time or another and hung on to it until he met me. And then it followed me home.
What's the manufacturer's name again?
GEC, it's General Electric of England.
Okay,
Is that
And
the
and the
thing that
brand
the
name is
tube is on, is that the
Osram.
mounting?
I'm sorry?
Is that the mounting that it's laying on, or is it attached to that, or?
That
How did you use it?
mounting is part of a shoe tree. I haven't been able to find in my copious supply of tube sockets one that holds this thing. As you see on either end, there's a contact, and in the middle of the bakelite, there are the two contacts for the filament. So the grid and the plate are from the ends on these pins.
Interesting.
Any questions?
interesting.
Where did you find that, Dick?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
That's it. Thank you.
I got one, if you're, when you're ready.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, just a second here.
Morning.
Yeah, morning. That's my only RC I have. It's a Radiola 3. It looks to be all, pretty much all original. I'm not sure the tubes are in there. I think those are WD11s. But yeah, it's all pretty much, as far as I can tell, untouched. And I've never fired it up or tried to fire it up or see what it needs. But the bottom is even. I'm assuming that's a. I don't know if you can see it. No, I guess you can't really see. Pick up the. In Boston, there is a part. It looks like a part number in our RCA, but. And I don't even remember where I got it from. I'd have to go look at my in my database to see if I noted down where I got it from and even when. But I'm thinking I picked it up from one of the swap meets, but just I don't remember anymore on that. This is just a cool set and they're small, so.
Did you find that in Hawaii or?
No. That was on the mainland. It got sent over. I found a few radios, but not like that. So that's all I have on that.
Nice, Mark.
Yeah, nice radio.
That's a good looking radio.
Yeah.
Nice bird sound effects too.
Oh, you hearing the birds? So I can need the audio. Yeah, that's constant in the morning. Or I didn't know that was coming through. I can mute the audio again.
It's
Well,
not, it's not a problem.
I've got one. But before I show you the radio, I'm going to show you a couple pictures. This is and if you can see it okay, this is a before picture. This is an RCA T7-5. It's I got it at one of our swap meets for $5 many years ago. You might be able to see the picture of the chassis. It's kind of hard to tell with the picture how rusty it was, but all the veneer was peeled off, or most of the veneer was peeled off. It's a 7-tube set, 3-band. So this is one of my first real big restoration projects. I was never able to get all the rust off, so I had to clean it up and just paint the chassis. I'll show you what the real one looks like now. So this is like, I don't know if I can get the whole thing in here. This is kind of what it looks like now. It didn't have knobs. I had to get knobs for it. The dial face, I had to replace that. the speaker material. My wife found that. And I re-veneered the whole thing, except for the front. I did not re-veneer the front because it was so pretty, even though it was a little bit beat up, and I tried to clean it up as much as I could. So it works quite well now. It's been electronically gone through everything I could. And so anyway, that's my input for the RCA, the R.
Nice, Larry.
It's about a 1937, and they advertised it as it's a good radio because it's all metal tubes. One of the tubes is a 6F6. It's metal, and I didn't know they made those in metal. But so all the receiver tubes are metal, and all the tubes that. Some of the tubes, the tops are rusty, but I kept them in there because they're good. So anyway, it was quite the project to get that one going.
Good
Took a
work.
lot of glue.
Good work, Larry.
Nice, Larry.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Good.
What's the rectifier tube in that? Is it metal too?
No, that's glass. I have to look. I think it's an 80. It's about a 1937 set.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would be. Probably that makes sense.
But actually, it's not an 80. It's a little bigger than an 80.
Is it 5Y3 or something? Like
5Y3?
No, well, it says 80, but this tube, now that I look at it, the plates are bigger than an 80, but it's still a four pin. So it could be another. I've never seen one, an 80 looking quite. It's hard to see, showing it to you guys that how tall the plates are in it, but it looks a lot bigger than a regular 80. So it's still a 4 pin. And the tube chart says 80.
It might be an 80, just a different brand that
It could be.
has that configuration. I don't know. I'm guessing.
It could be, but it says RCA on it. So, and here, this is the 6F6. I don't know if you can see all the rust still on it, but
Right.
I've never seen a metal one of these before. But it's definitely well weathered.
Hey, Mike,
And that's
Mike McCrow,
Yeah.
you're kind of like the tube guy now. Are those metal tubes glass inside? Under the metal?
Huh. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, I've
never had one apart.
Oh, or are they vacuum as well inside?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a vacuum inside for sure. But they're just made out of metal. And I don't know if, how they're manufactured, if they're welded up to make and then has all the air sucked out of them, or what the process is for making one of those, Pat. To be honest with you, I really don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure somebody knows that, but not me.
Well, there's probably a glass to metal seal on the bottom, you know, where the pins come into the socket
Yeah,
or
you
something
would
like,
sure
something
think
like
so,
that.
Lyles.
I've never taken one apart.
Yeah,
Hey, Larry, break one of those open right now. Let's take a look.
yeah.
I didn't bring my hacksaw with me, Ed.
No, that's a good question, you know.
Hey, Franklin,
I
maybe
have
Bet
that's the,
somebody like Sonny or George or somebody like that would know, or Blake would know the answer to that, Pat. I really don't know.
so frankly, maybe we could have that as a topic. You know, we'll get someone to talk about how those are made or what's inside.
There's a guy on YouTube that makes them, and he shows you how he makes glass tubes, not metal tubes. So it'll be an interesting thing. He's called a glass slinger or something like that.
The Lyles makes a good point. You have to have something to seal off where the pins go through and are connected up to the electrodes and you know, heaters and grids and everything else that's inside there. So something has to seal that off. And it has to, you know, it can't be shorted to the metal housing. So something's got to be the way they're manufactured to isolate all that. And so I don't know. Pat makes a good point. Maybe it is a glass envelope inside the metal casing, but I don't know that. It's got to be something like that, though.
I just
Hey, Mike?
found in the tube manual,
Oh, all right.
shows a picture of how they're constructed. I don't know if you probably can't see that, but it's anyway, you know, there's no glass in there. It's a metal envelope and hollow inside.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting. I found
At least.
a website that showed one of those funny cutaway drawings, and it showed a glass to metal seal on it and a glass tube inside the actual metal shell. So
Yeah.
maybe they made them both ways.
Maybe. But something's like that. And it can't be all metal, you know, especially in the bottom where the pins come through. They have to have that insulated away, and each one isolated from each other somehow.
Yeah. This one here describes like they show the, you know, it's numbered. It says like the on the construction like of the shell. It says vacuum tight steel shell.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did, like I say, on the base they did some sealing, and as you talked about it. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, they'd have to. They have to
Yeah,
seal
I
it
mean-
at the cap too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it has a grid cap too, that's
Yeah, because I see
exactly.
here they talk about all the different pieces in here. I mean, there's like 40 different components in this tube here, and it has like the glass bead seal, and all the different things here. But yeah, but at least this one shows it as a metal shell is the outer on the tube there. So
I found
If you
another
look-
page that says Triad Manufacturing Company. They called them metal glass tubes, being that there's a glass inner sleeve which is used to maintain the vacuum.
that's different in this one.
Nice, Jerry. Good. We found that out. If you have ever looked at the top of one metal tube with a grid cap, you can see it's got that phenolic around there where the cap actually comes through to insulate that away from the metal shell of the tube. So not sure what that's made of, but
Yeah. See, this one says structure of an all metal radio tube. I guess they, you know, like I said, they probably did both. Because if they couldn't do it that, build it that way, you think it'd end up costing them more, and that's not what you think they'd want to do.
Well, it's kind of interesting though. I mean, after all these years, it still maintains its seal, so it must have some glass, or, I mean, because the metal, the expansion and contraction of that, it could break the seal and, what is it, a 70-year-old tube? I don't know.
Yeah, I ran into a box of tubes I had a while back. There were 6K7s, 6F6s, 6Q7s. Excuse me. But they were so rusty, I decided to cut them open, and they had glass in them, all the way from the top clear to the bottom.
Interesting.
Just
Oh,
the
they did.
tubes.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna give Pat one of my metal 6L6 GC tubes. Since I don't use them, I use the glass one. So I'll try and remember that to get it on the picnic or something. Then you can cut it open if you want.
Okay, anybody else want to show our radio? If not, I'll give it back to Pat.
Okay, then next up, we have the recording secretary for minutes from the June meeting.
Well, the meeting minutes of the last meeting are in the call letter that you don't have. Instead of me reading it to you, why doesn't everybody just read their call letter? And if anybody's got any questions, just send an email into the group. That make any sense?
Sounds good, Lyles.
Okay.
Okay, next up, treasurer report.
As of July 7th, just a couple days ago, the Mason Fund is about $85 short of $50,000.
Wow.
And our cash available is about $7,800. 70, hold on, I'm sorry, 9,700.
Wow.
We're doing fine.
Do you have the results from the Roy Gabriel auction?
No, not in front of me. I think I shared the numbers with you, Pat. Do you remember?
Whoops.
Anyway, no, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and get the paperwork. You want me to do that?
Oh, I don't know. It's just mostly for club member FYI.
Yeah.
So if anyone's interested, let us know and we'll get the figures to you. So next up, we have the radio sale coordinator. Robbie, I think the only thing left to talk about is the October 9th swap meet.
Yeah, I've talked to Lisa and it's all set up. She's gonna have it opened up for us on the 9th, which is the second Saturday. And we're gonna have it from 10 until 2 in the afternoon. So that's all I have on it. And I'll be able to be there on that one. And I'll bring all the cables and the connectors and stuff and everything for the electrical part.
We're gonna set up on Friday night, like always, and
Yeah, Friday night.
everything,
Yeah,
Robbie?
Friday afternoon, about maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. Yeah, we can all be there, set the tables up and set the tables and everything. So,
Is Arlene going to be there?
yeah, she's gonna be there. Yeah. She's always snooping around watching us, you might say. Yeah, she's good though. I've get along with her all these years, so she helps me out. If I have a problem or something, she always fixes it. So, yeah, so we're all set for October.
Great.
Okay, next up is Dawn here for a call letter editor update. Okay. I guess Dawn's not here. It was another great call letter this month. Tech Talk. Franklin, do we have anything for a Tech Talk?
No TikToks today.
Okay, maybe we put that there, because the question I have now is why did they encase metal around the glass tube? Because it makes no sense. It's an
we
extra
go.
layer of processing.
We need some tube experts.
Shielding.
They could have done
It
it.
makes a
for,
lot of sense.
They could have done it for shielding purposes.
Yeah,
electrical
that's what I
shielding,
think.
And they could have also done it for heat radiation.
And it's durable, more durable.
Yeah, they would be more, yeah, the metal shell would be more durable than a glass shell. You're right.
Hmm.
Even if there's a glass shell inside the metal, it'll still be more rugged.
That particular cutaway does not show any glass envelope in there. That particular one. So I was studying it, looking to see where's this. It doesn't show there's a glass shell underneath that one.
And he used all the glass to metal seals to hold the vacuum.
They're apparently at the base, I guess. So
Yeah.
I was looking while you were talking. I was looking for some more information to find out.
You
The
can
tube
use
shields
it-
are awful thin, though, aren't they? I mean, like ones that I've seen on like All American Fives. The Zenith ones seem to be pretty thick, but aren't all those tube shields pretty thin?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, when they originally came out with those tubes, I mean, this radio is about a 1936. And
Like that, yeah.
There's, the advertisements I've seen for it, it's all metal tubes were all new at the time because they said they were much better because, in those days, your RF tubes had shields around them. I mean, in almost all the sets. And in this set, they didn't have to have shields because of the metal tubes. So I suppose it was, just thinking about it, it might have been a cheaper way to manufacture a radio because now you don't have to manufacture a tube shield for it because you just put metal tubes in and there you have it. So, they saved a few pennies, in your manufacturing thousands of sets. So that might have been the whole thing behind it. Who knows?
Yeah. That could be it, Larry.
Yeah, but that's weird because that means every tube you manufacture, you've also created a tube shield for it, where a tube shield is replaceable. You just pop it off your glass tube, put the next tube in, and pop the shield back over it. To me, it sounds like an extra step.
Well, for the tube manufacturers, but for the radio manufacturers, they probably buy the tubes in bulk when they, put them in the sets. So, it's no skin off their nose.
There's also different designs. Some tubes could be used in equipment that requires more quietness or more radiation shielding and or more shielding. And so you put a glass tube in, and if it has that requirement, just put the metal shield over the glass tube. It just, it could vary by application.
So Pat, we'll look forward to your tech talk after you've had a chance to research this.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's right. You can let us all
No
know
pressure.
about it.
I shouldn't have said anything.
We won't hold you to it, Pat.
I thought
All
the
right.
whole purpose was to learn something.
True. Okay.
Usually learning takes work.
All right. So next up is Tube of the Month.
Okay. The tube of the month, since this was our month, was easy to, I just came up with Raytheon. And whenever I get into doing this, or just like what Christian was saying, whenever you put on a Tech Talk, or whenever I do a tube of the month article, I learn a whole bunch of stuff too. But I wrote an article, it's in the call letter that nobody has. And, and so, but if I'm sure if you have it electronically, you'll be able to read it. I won't go through the whole thing, but it's quite interesting in that basically, in a nutshell, Raytheon started out as an appliance company, and then they converted over to an electronics company and started manufacturing tubes, okay, in the 1920s. And then from there, they bought up the you know, just like on the last months with QRS, they bought them up along with another tube company in about 1930. Then they started manufacturing a tube in World War II, which just happened to be a microwave tube, and that was used in radar for detecting enemy aircraft. Well, lo and behold, if they didn't figure out that tube, they could use it to cook food. And so in 1945, they I think after they acquired the Amana company, which they did too, they made somebody invented the microwave oven, and Raytheon was involved with that. And then and I think Amana called it the radar range anyway. And then it went on, they started making missiles and military stuff, and they had military contracts, and basically they dropped the tubes like everybody else did by the 70s. And now they're a huge company with government and military contracts, and they are getting, they make donations to promote math and science to the high schools, and Raytheon's become one of the largest companies. They are the largest missile manufacturing company. I have a box here. It's a pretty nice looking Raytheon tube box here. And unfortunately, I thought, well, great. You know, I went and grabbed this out of my stuff in my shop. And I thought, well, this is a real nice one. And it's a 6K6 on it, GT, which that's what's in here, except that it's an RCA tube. So that kind of defeated that purpose. But I did find in my tube collection, this is an Eveready Raytheon, and it's a type BH, which turns out to be, it's a 0-volt filament rectifier. And I believe it's a helium rectifier. It's kind of interesting looking. It's a globe, and you look at the end of it there, it almost looks like a tuning eye tube, but it's not. That I believe there's a plate, but I'm not sure either. And to be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about this, but I read in this Ludwell Sibley book about that's what it was. Is that this tube, a BH, is an early rectifier with a 0-volt filament in it. So kind of interesting. So that's kind of what I have on the Raytheon company. Any other questions on that? Like
So when did microwave ovens come out? Did it say?
I believe it was invented in 1945, believe it or not. And I think that they started to manufacture them in 1948, believe it or not.
Wow.
And so, you know, I didn't realize it was that early. Apparently they didn't really take off or become real popular. I think it must have been extremely expensive or something, Pat. I'm not sure, but they didn't really take off or become affordable for people, as we all know, until like the 70s. But they were actually invented right after World War II. And because their initial purpose was for radar for detecting aircraft using that microwave.
I read somewhere.
So
kind
of interesting.
The original one was quite large.
I have a comment about that. Back in the pre-war time, my friend Bob Dunbar was attending Benson High School and working at KBPS. And those fellas would, at lunchtime, they would stick a hot dog in the transmitter final tank and cooked the hot dogs in there. And this is 1939.
Really? Wow.
And of course, they didn't realize that they were ahead of Raytheon.
That's cool.
No, it was hot.
That's interesting, Dick. Wow.
Now, Mike, do you know if Raytheon was manufacturing tubes for other brands? And then, so you could get a Raytheon tube at a different brand name?
No, not offhand. Now, this, of course, this tube here is extremely old. It's from the 20s as this early rectifier, but it says Ever Ready Raytheon on it. And it's certainly quite possible that they may have been manufacturing for other companies. I know that. I know, for instance, that the Philco tubes, they were being manufactured, a lot of them by Sylvania. And so it's quite possible. The article that I read and I received, or I mean, that I took and wrote my article from, basically, or the research, was Wikipedia. And it didn't happen to say anything about that, Christian, but as big as they were like one of the largest tube manufacturers by about 1930. So it's really possible that they were making tubes, you know, for other companies.
And when they have more than one plant making them, or just one plant?
I don't know that one either. I didn't research that part of it. Like I say, the article that I got into went and gave most of their of the history of the company, and didn't get into specifics about how many plants they had, that type of thing. So, but I'm sure if you look it up, you can probably get online or look it up and find out any of that kind of information.
Yeah, because I still use their tubes when I come across them for the 12AX7s.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be pretty decent tubes for what I use them for. I always looked at them as a good brand.
Yeah, I've always had. It is a good brand. I've had really good luck using any of the Raytheon tubes.
It was Raytheon that brought out the CK722 transistor, wasn't it?
That sounds about right.
They could have. They bought out a lot of companies. I know that.
I have some Raytheon germanium, small germanium transistors also.
They made radio and television transmitters too, as well. They bought out an English company, AC Crossover. They bought out Amana Refrigeration, Beechcraft Aircraft, Corporate Jets Incorporated. They made and sold aircraft. They were big into that, and they sold trainer aircraft to the Navy and the Air Force.
So you should have bought stock in them, right?
They became a huge. They became a huge company.
Yeah, you should have bought stock in them.
Yeah.
I've got an old Raytheon tube. It's a 78. Can you see this?
Hold it up.
It's a model. It's
There
a
you go.
number 78.
Hold it up.
There.
Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah.
the whole tube. We saw it.
It's a number 78. And I'm not sure what the year is on this or not.
What do you do with it?
I've got an old radio. This goes into a radio. 19, I think 30.
I could have put a smart reply to that.
That's the only one I've got. It's a Raytheon. All the rest of them are different models. Anyone else?
No. And anybody have any other questions?
Okay, well, if that's it, we come to the end of our meeting. So does anyone want to bring up anything they want to talk about? Questions? Comments?
Oh,
I made a comment on the email, Pat. I just wanted to bring up one thing about this this donation that you wrote in the email list
Mhm.
about somebody has a donation in Seattle. Why don't we see if they just want to donate that to the PSARA instead? Because I can't see what the value would be for us to travel all the way up there to get a donation. And usually, I mean, I don't know what's in the donation, you know, don't get me wrong, but historically donations have not been anything that great. And so, I mean, you know, so do you think that the Puget Sound Club would want to just go ahead and go pick that up instead?
Well, they're the ones that turned it over to us.
There's a good reason for that, I'll bet.
Oh, have the new secretary bring it down here when she moves to Portland.
It was
Sounds
just
like
full
they
of too
don't
many
want it either.
involvements that they couldn't handle it.
The Puget Sound Club actually
Yeah,
went to a policy of not accepting. any
yeah,
more
right.
donations. So it would be a
They're
good
still not
idea,
even
though.
meeting, right? They're all on Zoom.
Yeah, it would be great to find out what's up there before we invested a lot of money in bringing down junk, though.
Yeah, I think maybe, Pat, you should have a policy that these things are sent with photographs.
Yeah.
Because if you just have to guess that they have a whole bunch of junk they want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have photographs.
But
I
I'm-
have photographs.
To travel all the way up to Seattle.
And what's in the
And
photographs?
And then go to the town.
Lots of stuff. I mean, it's real interesting. I mean, she doesn't show what's inside a lot of the boxes, but it looks like there's a whole lifetime collection of stuff. So it might be interesting for parts and, you know, things like that. Speakers, chassis, radios, et cetera, electronic equipment. I don't know, but I'm real intrigued by it because it looks very interesting. So I'll let you guys know if we get some volunteers.
Hey, Pat,
All
can you
right.
put those pictures up on the internet? Others, our internet?
News group, anyway.
Well, I can do it to Google Google
Groups.
Groups. It's going to be hard to get Mark to put anything up on the internet on the website because I just talked to him this morning and he doesn't have any time. He's working because of the fire. He's working 7 days a week and he has literally no free time.
Well, I guess my point was, and if somebody wants to go up there and get it, I mean, you know, that's their business and, you know, but to me, I couldn't see the value of traveling 400 miles round trip, you know, to go up there and spending the money for fuel and time and everything else to go up and get a few boxes of some radio parts that I'm not even sure if anybody's going to really want to bid on that much, or depending on what's in the boxes. I mean, that's going to make a lot of difference if we're talking about that type of stuff. If it was nice radios that people wanted and can restore, or something that had some pretty good value to it, well then that would, you know, maybe make some sense. But you know, and given the fact that Puget Sound doesn't want it and they're wanting us to take it, I mean, I don't know, that kind of throws a red flag, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
What's
Pat,
the
another-
location, Pat?
Pat, another option might be to have someone from the PSARA bring it to the August 21st swap meet in Chehalis. There we get to see it. And you can decide then if you want to bring it back to Portland or leave it with them.
What's the
Good idea.
location?
It's
That is-
Auburn.
Yeah.
Auburn?
Auburn, Washington.
Yeah, see, that's right. That's where, yeah, okay, that's not that. I was just wondering if it was closer, almost closer to us, but it's obviously not. That's Auburn's right, just right south of Seattle proper.
So again, bring it to Chehalis. Have them bring it to Chehalis.
I don't think we can count on PSARA to do much on that. They're like, they don't really do much for collecting stuff. They only have a small 10 by 10 storage unit, which they pay monthly on. And Jason is about ready to give that up because in the past it was making money for them to get all the stuff, store it, and then auction it off. And lately, because of COVID, they haven't been going out or receiving any donations. So they're turning stuff over to us. So like I say, I'm intrigued by the pictures, so I'm willing to go up there and take a look. Just want to know if anyone else was kind of interested as well.
When you
You're
gonna
bringing
go,
your little,
when you gonna go up there, Pat?
Well, it has to be done soon because it's one of those things where it's an estate and they want to, it's the father that passed away and they want to sell the house, so they need it empty.
And it would all fit in your truck?
No, it's gonna take more than one truck.
Oh,
wow.
What kind of truck are you talking about?
Toyota pickup, Chevy truck, I don't know, just a regular pickup.
Well, Pat, I could probably go up with you. Just let me know what day it is.
Okay,
Yeah, just before make sure it's before the 21st, 24th though.
okay.
I can, and in 2-3 days or so or whatever, I can go up with you.
Okay, sounds good. We do this because I get a feeling a lot of people love the auctions we do. And even though, it's a hit and miss, a lot of times we get some really good stuff and the people really enjoy it and the club makes money, and sometimes it's a wash, but I figure that as long as people enjoy bidding on stuff, that I'm more than happy to go out and look and pick up stuff for everyone, just so they can have stuff to bid on.
Yeah, somebody else's trash is somebody's trophy, you might say.
Yeah, it might be good for the October trash bash. No, wait a second, that's September, sorry. The October is the Aurora sale. It might be good for the September trash bash.
Yeah.
Just let you all know I'm collecting gold.
Good luck on that.
Before you throw it away, call me.
Well, the gold might be in the form of a bunch of circuit boards coming in from a bunch of computers. So you're gonna take a bunch of computer stuff?
I watched that video before. That guy spent a lot of time trying to get that gold out of there.
Yeah, 20 pounds of metal and 1 ounce of gold.
Oh, he had more than that going on. It was a big process trying to extract gold out of circuit parts.
Yeah.
Well, 1 ounce of gold's about what, $1,700?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up on YouTube. It's people that even buy the scrap board or scrap pieces off of eBay, and then they're selling it off eBay for somebody, of course, to extract it. And then it's a YouTube video I watched a while back where the guy, smelts it and does this and that and processes it, and what he gets out of it after all the effort was quite a bit of, and what he invested in it. He bought the spare boards or whatever off of eBay that somebody else was selling. So I guess everybody's making money. You just have to work for it.
Mhm.
But I don't think anybody's rich yet, other than maybe the
I'm gonna
recycle.
sign out, everybody.
Okay.
So, good meeting, Pat. Good meeting, everybody. We'll
Okay.
see you all at the picnic.
See you, Mike.
See you later,
Bye-bye.
Mike.
Yeah.
See you guys.
All right. If nothing else, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. You guys can stay on if you want to talk, but I'm heading out too.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Pat.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks, everyone.
Pat. Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm signing off.
Look.